Happy days, and you with myself and Mr. Tannyware, who's just got back from holidays with his white bits everywhere that he's not going to show anybody, bar for his lovely lady, I'm sure. But it's great to be in, it's fantastic. And do I have something for us today? You know, Mr. Tannyware, for our audience who are just new to these beautiful deep dives in the Extreme Business Set Mind series that Lee and myself do every week. Lee has no idea what the subject is. He comes in stone cold every week with his pad and his pen and ready to go, because this week, Lee, it's, are you comfortable being uncomfortable? Now, so many people talk about this. They practice this bragging, right? Yeah, you know, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say it's such a small percentage that are happy in their day to be just, I mean, if I'm over 40% in my comfort zone, it means I like to be 60% out of my comfort zone every day. That, to me, I feel is a healthy place for me. That's not a brag, audience. That's just fact. But trust me, it took me 20 years of self-reflecting and gut skills and all those skills that comes with that to be comfortable in that place. Believe it's such a camouflage, though, isn't it?
It is, mate. And it's a very good topic, Paul. Are you comfortable being uncomfortable in it? And whether you take it into the business world or the personal world, success is always the other side of the feelings you haven't processed. And you've got personal development, as in that's you from your skin in, or you've got, if you're in a team environment, relationship, whatever, whoever you're interacting with, wherever their autonomy is, whatever they won't take responsibility for, whatever they won't become aware of, whatever they won't be accountable for, is their level of comfortability. So when they kick back, they're kicking back because they haven't processed either what they've done or where they should grow. So when, like you saying 40% you're in your comfort zone, 60% you're out, that would be, like, in a sense, an autonomous human being. And at the same time, because you're in that space, when something's said to you and you get that trigger or you get that, even though in the moment you might do nothing with it, you might just react or respond like everybody else. But in reflection, that's where the entrepreneur or somebody on that self-growth business success journey will realize and reflect and do an audit, basically. Why was I uncomfortable with that? Is there any truth in that? Is this me or is this them? Is this me or is this the circumstances? Because success is going to be the other side. Yeah. But if nobody's willing to go the other side, if all you've got is like, and if you're anchored, that's the trouble. If you're in a partnership in business, partnership in a relationship, and the person you're working with will not move, will not process it, and will defend their little camp, then you can't move forward because you are anchored at their level of emotional autonomy, business autonomy, or awareness. And all the time, even though they might go, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. And then you go, well, explain it to me. And if they can't explain it with any depth, they ain't done the work. Yeah. And if they haven't done the work, you know you're stuck in basically your past. You're living your yesterdays in today.
Wow. Let me jump in there, Liam. Just give our audience here an idea of the levels here, so between people. So I'm going to say again, I consider myself pretty evolved and enjoying being uncomfortable. I'm going to put that 40% number here. But let's think about this, audience. But I think scenario right now of myself and Lee, because I want to give you a measure also where Lee is even further into that number, in a sense of, I say, you know, Lee, your place of being comfortable is probably very small in your day because you're constantly deliver off the cuff. So here's where we are. We're on this call. I come in with a title, which means I've got in my head comfortableness. Now, also, my prep is just the title. The title, and I have a feel of what that is. So that gives me an edge of comfortableness. But for yourself, you've taken a level further, saying, I don't know nothing until you put it on me. So your level of comfortableness is smaller than mine because you're happier being more uncomfortable in a bigger percentage. Because, like, Paul, no, hit it to me as soon as you come on and I'll go from there. That's your rate. So your rate of being comfortable is tiny compared to mine because you always work from download second to second to second to second. So
And
there you are,
you're in real time.
Yeah.
You're connected to the data. And when and bear in mind, if you've got no experience in that data and you ask me on a topic, I would say, yeah, I haven't got much experience in that area. And I wouldn't consider that my level of comfortability would be I have no experience in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know that I don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
But when it's in my space, yeah, or I can draw from my life experience, why do I need to be comfortable? I get it when I go to bed, I want a comfortable bed. I get it when I'm driving my car, I want a comfortable seat. Because comfortable to me is a biological term.
Oh, wow.
But where comfortable is utilised as another word, it's the word comfortable means I'm sitting comfortably. The seat's comfortable. Are you comfortable? So yeah, I'm perfect, thank you. That isn't what we mean by comfortable. It means, are we safe? Are we secure? Yeah, are we autonomous? Are we? Well, yeah. No. If you ask me to speak on stage, that would make me feel very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think we take the wrong words.
Okay.
And we make sentences of them, and we've got to hear that. See the word sentence. What sentence are we putting on ourselves? As in, what judgment are we putting on ourselves? What sentence are we? Because a sentence takes away your future.
Wow.
So when I say I wouldn't be comfortable doing that. Yeah, right now, there's one thing that I could honestly say that I'm aware of I wouldn't be comfortable doing, and unless there was extreme circumstances, I wouldn't do it. And that would be going like through this cave crawling thing.
Oh, potholing.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Oh, if one of my kids was in there or something like that, yeah, if it was a dog that was in there, yeah, no, I'd think, no, I'd want to, but yeah, no. So, and the feelings I would have, because I'm a bit claustrophobic. I'm not, I've dealt with it, but I don't like confined spaces. I can deal with lifts and I'm not uncomfortable. Yeah. But I know
personal. That's personally, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
in business, yeah, but that's the thing. In business, yeah, no. I work groups and everything. I'm not worried about people's triggers. In my world, I can't run the group at the level of somebody else's autonomy.
Yeah.
And I'm not triggering them deliberately because I don't know where people's triggers are. And when I see the trigger, I do my best to stop the bullet from firing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try and manage the conversation or have a group discussion so that person's getting, yeah. And this is where I think, bear in mind, it's just a thought. I don't give any credence to thoughts. The thought is just an awareness level. If I put some reason to it, I might develop into an opinion. If I put some feeling behind that opinion, I might develop it into a belief.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't do beliefs because beliefs you can have one and I can have a different one, and that means we can have conflict, which I don't really like. I'm not uncomfortable with conflict.
Mm-hmm.
A second-hand black belt, yeah, rented a lot of properties, had a lot of good tenants, bad tenants. I much prefer harmony, synergy. Mm-hmm. When I say harmony and synergy, I mean like a good choir.
Yeah.
Yeah, not because of safety. If everybody's autonomous, we can work very well together and we can get it. And I can say, oh, Paul, you're too high there, buddy. You're coming in too early. And Paul should go, what do you mean? What do you mean? Paul should go, all right, yeah, thanks for that. And realise it's not judgment, it's feedback. Yeah. Realise it's us trying to get that harmony. And that's really a good business, should be like a good choir. I should be able to say, oh, Paul, yeah, and not you dropped it there. If I know Paul's good at what he does, then I should be able to say, Paul, is everything okay?
But then there's two kinds of comfortable then, isn't it? And being uncomfortable. You've got your political approach, which is I'm saying what you want to hear. And then there's the approach I'm saying and how you can benefit. But let me think about people, the average entrepreneur that claims to be practicing that comfortable being uncomfortable. I also feel that they are practicing and being uncomfortable at what they're comfortable at.
Oh, yeah.
They switch the process round in a camouflage.
Well, I think that word is well practiced. And this is where, for example, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm very comfortable with saying it. What other people think is their own private business thoughts. So I'm not aware of it. Never heard one, never seen one. I have this illusion they exist because so many people talk about them. Yeah. But I prefer not to think. because a thought to me would be to break down the data. I need a thought with an image, and I need that image and thought to be aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I need the emotion to be aligned with it. I need the physiology, my gut, to be aligned with it. Yeah, because and I need my spirit, my chi energy to be aligned with it. And if it's congruent, then it's true, not my truth.
Yeah.
There's nothing in me that disagrees with the data. So when we're at that sort of speaking to what people expect, it's very controlling.
Wow.
Whether we're wearing what people expect, saying what people expect, and then when we don't say it, that's even worse. That the group doesn't even have the awareness that when they go, "Oh, that's disrespect," that's it. No, disrespect is you controlling my words. Now, if I'm not calling you a bad name, or I'm not putting you down, or I'm not making a judgment on you, and I'm not taking away your autonomy, as in and I'm not attacking your credibility to take away your income or your job, then I should be free, because I'm a unique individual, the same as everybody else and me. However, when they're on script, whether that's whatever script, whatever political agenda or whatever, when they're on script, I'm not talking to a free-thinking human. I'm talking to an agenda implanted in a free-thinking human. And even worse, their feelings will react to that data, and they say, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other. It has to be done this way. No, when it has to be done, it's a square peg in a round hole. When you're dealing with an autonomous human, and if I'm honest, if I'm truly honest, the real world is when people interact and say stuff to you that you don't like. Now, if it's not the F word, the C word, or whatever, we all know not to use them. Hey, I can't believe you said that. Well, don't have a calibrated expectation on another human. They're going to say, if they're an honest, authentic, true, sincere, genuine human, they're going to say things that you don't know, because they're going to tell you what they know.
Wow, yeah.
And if that makes you feel uncomfortable, then the awareness should be, oh, I'm reducing my ability. And then even worse, when it starts to compound, that person goes, oh, Paul didn't like that. I won't say anything like that to him again. After 2 or 3 engagements with Paul, I show up, because I don't want to disrespect Paul, and I show up within the illusion of what Paul wants. And then Paul goes, I like Lee. Yeah. And you go, what do you like? Oh, he's a very clever guy. He does this, that. Yeah, he always, and yeah, he always nudges me, but just 1 or 2%. I don't like to be took outside of 1 or 2%. And I go, brilliant. But now I'm showing up within Paul's calibration, which means now Paul's learning is being governed because of my respect.
Wow. That's so deep.
You put that in reality, and you can see why we've gone from the Industrial Revolution to the digital age, and now we're going backwards. And we think the solution is AI. And AI, bear in mind, and I've got nothing against AI. I do a lot of work in that space, as you know, work with companies like big companies that work with. So, and I advise in that area, not on how to develop AI, but I advise in the marketplace and different things like that. So I'm not against AI. However, AI was developed by humans, and it is flawed because it was developed by humans. Until you get an autonomous human, whether we've ever met one, whether you're one, whether I'm one, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I haven't got the data AI's got. But AI is like a calculator. It'll go through all the data and get all the different things. It hasn't got any feelings to go with it. Hasn't got any environmental data to go with it, apart from weather, temperature, whatever. It hasn't got how that is felt. So if I take it 1 step further, in my mind, it could be backwards. By saying 1 step further means we're going forwards. Yeah. And what I'm going to say, it could be redundant. It could be not even worth listening to. So even by saying we're going to 1 step further would imply that I'm going to educate you. But it's just language, yeah? When I go outside and I get the data from the environment, do I put myself down because of it? Now, if I'm getting married that day and we're having an outdoor wedding and it's going to rain, and then I might get the hump. I never thought it was going to rain. Why would the environment show up in line with what you think? Yeah, the universe out to get me. It's going to rain today and my wedding will be ruined. I mean, you can judge it how you like. You can speak the sentence you want, but that ain't real. That's just your assessment of what's happening. And because it's your assessment, you think it's real. No, it's just your lack of awareness to realise that you have no control over the environment.
Yeah.
So that data you get, however you judge it or assess it, is your judgment and assessment based on your life experience and your knowledge and wisdom and whatever. And whether you, but if I go outside and I feel the temperature and I feel it's a bit cold and I go, yeah, that makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm not going to leave the house today. Yeah. Now, if you had a friend like that, you think, oh, right, yeah, there's something not quite right there. Not there's something wrong with them. Their calibration's wrong. But you've got a very important meeting the other side of London. I know I have, but I don't go out weather like this.
Wow.
Well, why? We can get a taxi, we can get a bus. Now, when I say it like that, you can hear it. Just because of the temperature outside. When the temperature goes up in a conversation and you get those feelings, that's you reacting to data. You can go, well, Paul's this and Paul's that, and Paul's trying to control me, Paul's trying to put me down. No, Paul is expressing his perspective, his understanding of the data. Have the awareness. Now, if Paul says you're stupid because you express yours, then it's just mind against mind.
Yeah. And
then, even worse, people go, I feel attacked because of what Paul said. All right. Attacked is a physical word. I feel brave because I overcome it. Brave is for on the battlefield. Don't take, I spoke to a lady a while back. It was a client of mine. Yeah. And she was talking about her daughter's first day at school. And her daughter's first day at school, nobody spoke to her. And her daughter was traumatized. And I said, if she's traumatized by nobody speaking to her, and that's trauma, if she lost a finger, what would that be? If somebody pulled her hair out, what would that be? Trauma is at the top of the scale. If we put top of the scale words on our feelings that are minimal, then we are calibrating and educating that when somebody calls you a bad name, that's trauma. No, that's somebody call you a bad name. It hurt me. Yeah, but hurt you to what level? Somebody calling you a bad name, depending on how comfortable or how uncomfortable you are, to me is zero. Because I already know that in the world, humans are going to call each other bad names. I could get to the traffic lights and, some bloke tooting me because I've got to wait too quick, or too slow. And then I might feel like giving him the middle finger, which I've done. I wouldn't do it nowadays because I don't give that control to them. That's where they are.
I love that. I love the way you brought this background, because I was like, wow, where are we going with this depth? And you brought it right back in. It's like the reality is you're comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to look at your day, look how you respond, react to everything first before you even measure into your business. Because if you haven't got your personal persona in place,
you're not going to have your professional.
Tanny, where you
the last little bit, and I know we've got like a minute or so, yeah. The art of learning or personal development, it's not fulfilling Paul or Lee or anybody else. It's where are your triggers?
Yeah.
Because that is your threshold. That's when you get the trigger, you've passed your boundary of uncomfortableness. The awareness should be, I don't like the way I react to that. I don't like giving my power away, my reaction, my physiology, my emotional state to a word or to a tone. So you should reflect and go, right, if that happens again, because that's personal development. Personal development isn't training other people to personally interact to your level of autonomy and awareness and comfortability.
Tell you where. I was expecting this to dive into a particular place in my mind, but you just do what you always do. You surgically pulled it apart and brought it right back down and brought the accountability back to that person. It's beautiful. I love where we went with this today. One of my favorites of the deep dives, and we've done so many. That was just awesome.
But everything you do, or I do, or anybody else does, will come from them. Everything you do comes from you.
Wow.
So we say, how comfortable are you at being uncomfortable? Yeah, which is a line of question I brought up about 3 or 4 years ago. However, your lack of comfortability will tell you your personal development level.
Your lack of comfortability is beautiful. Tell you where, it was worth going over. I love this deep dive today. It's been fantastic. You have an amazing day. And until this time next week, we're going to say, boom! Bye for now.
Boom. Okay.
Bye, Lee.
Take care, buddy. Have a brilliant day.
That was brilliant. I'll speak to you soon.